national team starts tonight at Rio Tinto Stadium in beautiful Sandy, Utah, as the fans in red, white, and blue continue to fill this stadium for tonight's action. Hello, everyone. I'm Jenny Taft. Thank you for joining us. Well, tonight's match may be a warm-up, a friendly, but there is still plenty to prepare for, as there are two very critical World Cup qualifying matches coming up in just a couple days. The first, June 8th against Trinidad and Tobago in Colorado, and then just 3 days later, the US-Mexico rivalry. It resumes, but this time on foreign soil from the famous Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. And the Americans have only beat El Tri once in the last 50 years, and that match was a friendly. But the new man in charge, Bruce Arena, has emphasized to his players that tonight is about continuing to build ourselves as a team, and that begins with the result against Venezuela. So it's now time to send it upstairs to the two calling the match, JP Dellacamera and Stu Holden. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jen, how are you? Well, Stu, tonight, besides an obvious result, what else is the U.S. looking for in this big friendly?
Well, I think the obvious one is trying to get out of this 90 minutes injury-free, heading into those two important World Cup qualifiers that Jenny talked about. But secondly, it's an opportunity for guys like Bobby Wood, Fabian Johnson, DeAndre Yedlin, who haven't been called up under Bruce Arena before, to make an impact, to show him over the course of 90 minutes what they can do. For the 11 out there on the field tonight, we'll get a look at the lineup in just a second, but it's a strong team, so to feel the rhythm, to get a balance and an understanding heading into those two games.
This is a very strong starting 11 for Bruce Arena's team, starting in goal.
Well, it's Tim Howard in goal, and Bruce Arena came out and said that it is his position to lose going into these two games. The back four, Jeff Cameron and John Brooks, a pairing that we saw frequently over the past year. They are back together through injury. Jeff Cameron had played right back, and speaking of right back, DeAndre Yedlin is filling in there. Christian Pulisic we will see as a number 10, and Fabian Johnson on that right-hand side, JP, a position that Bruce Arena told us he sees him playing often this year.
For Venezuela, there'll be a couple of names you recognize, but it's a very young team that's been brought here.
It is a very young team, very different team than we saw in Copa America last year. It's Contreras in goal. Villanueva is in the center back position alongside Velasquez. Flores and Moreno make up the center midfield pairing, but their target man, the third all-time leading goal scorer for Venezuela, Solomon Rondon, plays in the English Premier League for West Bromwich Albion.
Well, as far as friendlies go, this one is an important one. It's ahead of two big World Cup qualifiers for the United States. Tonight, they get ready to take on Venezuela. Come back with us for the kickoff from Rio Tinto Stadium.
Something this good just has to be shared. Finally, this is what you've been looking for. I'm talking about Quest. It's the best place to meet real people and make instant connections. And it's so fun to relax and just be myself. And the best part? It's free to try. Just pick up your phone and call. You should call Quest now. Try it free.
Call 1-888-717-1717 now.
June 11th, Fox will put competitors through the ultimate test.
Gigi is stepping up to get it done.
John Cena and his team of military elite are transforming people's lives.
Choose to win.
American Grit, Sunday, June 11th on Fox.
Welcome back. The United States versus Venezuela from Sandy, Utah. And as you can see, the U.S. national team sporting some special jerseys tonight in recognition of LGBTQ Pride Month in June. U.S. Soccer is partnered with the You Can Play project. And the highlight, both the men's and women's national teams will wear Pride-inspired rainbow numbers for the June friendlies. The You Can Play project is an organization dedicated to ensuring equality, respect, and safety for all athletes, coaches, and fans. And one set of game-issued jerseys from each team will be available in an online charity auction. Fans will also have the chance to purchase customized rainbow jerseys and hats through ussoccerstore.com, and the proceeds will be donated to the You Can Play project. But we're getting close to the action. When we come back, JP Dellacamera and Stu Holden have the call.
Welcome back, everyone, to Rio Tinto Stadium in Sandy, Utah, home of Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer. Tonight it's home to this international friendly, USA versus Venezuela. Fifth game in charge in his second tour of duty. What has he brought, Stu, back to this team?
Well, he's brought some energy. He's brought a renewed excitement around the team, and he's brought results. JP, 4 points out of their last 2 World Cup qualifiers put this team in a much better position. Although he stated to us how important these upcoming games, getting the same result, getting 4 points between Trinidad and Tobago and Mexico.
As for Venezuela, it's not the normal guy behind the bench. That's Marco Matias. He's an assistant coach to Rafael Dudamel. Dudamel is coaching the under-20 team in the under-20 World Cup, and we'll talk more about that because Venezuela happens to be playing the USA a couple of hours, Stu, after our game finishes tonight. Match referee is from Costa Rica, Jeffrey Solis. We are moments away from the kickoff. Jenny Taft mentioned the jerseys that the players are wearing. They're wearing specially made uniforms with rainbow numbers in recognition of LGBTQ Pride Month. The U.S. women's national team will be wearing similar jerseys for their 2 upcoming friendlies in Sweden and also in Norway. And Dempsey could set a record tonight too. That's something we'll be watching. 56 goals, trails Landon Donovan.
Survived and stayed in the Bundesliga, going to the relegation playoff and looking to reboot, restock, and John Brooks is part of those plans.
Brooks playing it forward. The U.S. will try to get numbers forward. Nagby will try to get the job done in the midfield. It's a pretty creative midfield when you have Nagby in there and Pulisic. Nagby and Johnson as well. Bradley will anchor things. Foul goes against Venezuela. Free kick here for the U.S. Foul on Jean Murillo. His 8th international appearance. Venezuela brought 5 players here that were uncapped.
Clint Dempsey looks like he's lining up to take a shot here. And normally you would say this is a little bit far out, but we have to take into account the altitude. The ball moves in a different way. It's going to dip. He's able to hit right through the middle of it.
About 35 yards or so away for Clint Dempsey. Looking to strike, fires it, and that's over the bar and wide as well. Nothing Contreras had to do on that.
What he's trying to do here, as I said, was just hit right through the middle of the ball to get a little bit of a knuckle. It's going to move even more with the thin air at altitude. Sometimes he doesn't quite get the technique right on that one. It flies over.
22-year-old Contreras playing in his 4th international match will send it upfield for Venezuela. Rondon will be one of the targets for sure. The most experienced player and best goal scorer, wearing the number 9 jersey in yellow. Down this right flank. The pass was for Rondon, but it was wide, and it's a goal kick for Tim Howard. Played short, Bradley holding it. Squaring to Brooks. Villafana.
We're getting an early look at how this United States formation is going to look, and I'm sure American Soccer Twitter is very happy that Fabian Johnson is playing up on this right-hand side, a position where he's had a lot of success in the Bundesliga. He's been used as a left back, a right back. Bruce Arena telling us he sees him as a midfielder. He wants some continuity. He wants to see what he can provide in that position.
It's Bobby Wood. Bradley, 4 in the red of the U.S. Played wide by Dempsey, but the flag goes up. Bruce talked about Fabian Johnson's versatility, but he said on this team, we want him to play one position.
And his exact quote to us as well, JP, was, you can be jack of all trades and master of none. And he feels that, yes, his versatility is good. He could play on the left or the right, but he wants him to master one of those positions in midfield for him. And I'd have a pretty good guess looking at this midfield here with Pulisic in front of Michael Bradley, Nagby on the left, that this would be the starting lineup we will see over at least against Trinidad and Tobago in that first World Cup qualifier.
Blocked by Kiarda. And then it was knocked away from him. No foul given. Wide for Nagby. 7th year with the Portland Timbers. A couple years ago, they were MLS Cup winners. Cameron Johnson. It's DeAndre Yedlin. His Newcastle team won the English Championship, so next year they're back up in the Premiership after only being out for a season. Throw in here for Venezuela.
Well, another player we're getting a look at tonight, Bobby Wood. First appearance under Bruce Arena. A player we asked him, said he's impressed him in camp. A relationship today now with Clint Dempsey. It's important to note that Josie Altidore came to camp late because of a wedding for his brother, and he's not included in this lineup tonight. So we're going to get a look at Clint Dempsey, Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood's hold-up play is going to be extremely important to link up with Dempsey.
Clint brought it down, left it. Pulisic finding Dempsey. Villafaña to the left. He also had a stint with Portland in MLS. Again with Chivas USA. Head in the swivel for Pulisic, and now it's played back. Cameron. Johnson. Good soft touch. Yedlin looking inside. Good run was made. Dempsey was in there. Wood was the second guy. Here's Nagbe leaving it. Pulisic turning. So calm on the ball despite his youth. Off Yedlin's touch. And now it's broken up. Venezuela looking to come back. There are 2 friendlies they're playing here in the U.S. Machis. Into the middle it comes. Murillo. Bradley slowed him down. Venezuela will try to get numbers into the box, and it's wide of Tim Howard. Do you like the start? It's only 5 minutes or so.
Well, I'm liking the understanding on this right-hand side between DeAndre Yedlin and Fabian Johnson, but Venezuela are setting a very deep line. They're sitting very far back, looking to play on their counterattack. And after that last cross, the United States were a little slow to get back on that recovery run. Venezuela were looking to break through Rondon.
114th cap for Tim Howard, who sends it over the halfway line. Michael Bradley gets to it. Pulisic. Wood. Taking off, getting around his man. He went right around Quijarda. Wood, head up, low cross. Swung at and cleared. It'll be a USA corner. Good start for Bobby Wood.
Yeah, it is. You saw his ability to hold up the ball a couple minutes ago. And then this time he turns and runs and beats a defender. Just comes through the pocket. Christian Pulisic so good on the half turn. Bobby Wood had drifted out wide to find space. Great recognition there. Sucks in the defender. Final pass just didn't quite come off, but good play.
Corner from Pulisic. Second ball is going to be brought down. Moreno. Looking for help. Machis. Right between the benches, and saying that ball was out. Eighth minute, 0s on the board. USA versus Venezuela. First of 3 games in 9 nights. This one doesn't count in any standings, but it's big in preparation for the next 2 that will count. Venezuela still involved in their World Cup qualifying, but they're in last place in South America. Just the 1 win.
Doesn't get any easier for them, does it, JP? Colombia, Argentina, and Uruguay.
Santos in the far side, swings it. Big switch to Machis. He brings it down well. Versus Yedlin and Johnson. Fabian got a block. It falls nicely to Murillo. By the corner flag. 1v1. Plays it back out. Venezuela getting some support around the ball. Looking inside. Intended for Machis. Collected. Giardo. Yedlin running it down. Took a bump. Went down. It's going to rule it a goal kick. Could have easily been a foul. Yedlin missed 6 weeks with a quad injury.
And initially, I thought the referee was going to whistle for a foul, and it certainly looked like a foul to me, but it wasn't. Went out for a goal kick.
Yedlin's become more defensive-oriented under Rafa Benitez at Newcastle. That's a plus for him and for the USA.
Yeah, and that was something we asked him yesterday, wasn't it? He said, how have you improved as a player under Rafa Benitez? And he said that was a big reason that he went to Newcastle, dropped down a league from the Premier League to the Championship, because he wanted to play for Rafa Benitez, a defensive-minded coach, a coach that could help him with his positioning. And Bruce talked about how much better DeAndre Yedlin has been defending that space in behind him and not relying so much on his speed, but more so a positional sense.
Nagbe leaves it for Michael Bradley. He made his international debut against Venezuela back in 2006. Jennifer Johnson, Venezuela picked that off. Here they come with Rondon for Machis. Machis holding it out on the wing versus Yedlin. Machis, nice step over, moves there. If they had someone open at that back post, Venezuela could have taken the lead.
Well, and DeAndre Yedlin, who we were just talking about, gets beat one-on-one on the dribble. It actually looked to me as he was tracking back, he looked a little tired, a little winded, and that comes down to the altitude. He made a hard run forward, and he gets caught on the back foot, backing up, doesn't engage Machis. Good little step over, and the delivery didn't come.
Gallardo. Gallardo holding, plays for Caracas FC. A lot of these players do play domestically in Venezuela. Santos. Murillo's pass. Moreno lifting it. Too fancy there. Flores can't stop Nagbe. Darlington Nagbe going forward. The return ball too heavy.
That's where Nagbe's at his best, though, isn't it, JP? Just skipping past defenders. Little burst of speed. Can't quite connect on the pass, though. It's this touch here. As he turns, pushes it by, and then accelerates past Murillo. Excellent play. Looks to combine, and he's in there. Clint Dempsey tries a little spin on the half turn.
Just the one goal and 15 appearances for Darlington Nagbe, but becoming more and more regular with this team.
People are always going to point at that, though, aren't they? Production and assists, and starting to put up goals and assists. When we talked to Caleb Porter at Portland, he said he's the one, the connective tissue that glues it all together and keeps things moving and combining. But I just think if he wants to play week in, week out, international after international for this United States team, you have to start to add that little piece at the end, and he's not far away. Very, very talented player.
Scoreless here in the 13th minute. The header strong by Brooks. U.S. will keep it. Pulisic dropping it back. Cameron, Brooks. Those two have been a good pair. Unfortunately, injuries have kept them apart too many times. Bradley, very deep here for Brooks. Santos putting pressure on the ball. Brooks goes back to Howard. Cameron. Yedlin. Cameron's going to play it safe. Back to Tim Howard.
U.S. very patient in their build-up, but you also have to give Venezuela some credit. Closing down the space between the lines, and now you see Christian Pulisic dropping so deep to pick up the ball.
Blasted away. Run made by Rondon, but not even close to that. 14th minute. Zeros on the board. This is the altitude you're looking at, and it will climb steadily in the next two games that the U.S. is playing, culminating with 7,200 in Mexico City. Ball headed forward. The flag stays down. Johnson cutting, looking, leads it. No call there. Well, to come away without even a crack at goal there.
Selfish.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, Fabian Johnson, who scored a number of goals in the Bundesliga. I thought he was going to line up and take it with the right foot.
On this left side, U.S. will cross. Dempsey was waiting for it. Sent long by Machis. Murillo. Blocked by Nagbe. It goes out of play.
early on this relationship on the right-hand side between Yedlin and Fabian Johnson. Fabian Johnson's been tucking in, allowing Yedlin to get further up on the right-hand side. Doesn't have to take it on the right, then has a good look on the left foot. At that point, you have to try and hit the target. There could be a rebound and deflection. Dempsey takes a little shove from Camacho. Just felt in that moment, Fabian Johnson, be a bit more greedier. Go direct, straight at goal. Anything can happen in that moment. And he was one that Bruce Arena said he's been very impressed with in training. 2 goals in 55 matches. Well, a number of those appearances have been as a left back and a right back, so further from goal. I expect that production to go up as he's playing more in midfield.
Bruce said he visited him 3 times in Germany since Bruce has taken over as the head coach for a 2nd time with the U.S. It's his 5th game back with the club. That's intercepted. Rondon. Blocked. Good job by Cameron. Otherwise, it could have been a 2v1 situation there. Cameron stays up high, finds Nagbe. Nagbe on the move. Villafana. High up from the left back spot, trying to cross it. It's cut off in front by Velasquez. As well to get out of that jam. Strip there. Pulisic. Bradley. Johnson. Fabian going forward, trying to tuck it inside. Back to goal, blasted away by Contreras, and he gave it right back to Yedlin. Cameron. Brooks. Nagbe waiting for some movement. Jeff Cameron just extended his deal another 3 years with Stoke City, but they want him as more of a holding midfielder. Ball played in long. Is that a push or no? Nope, apparently not. But it's going to be ruled.
I thought it went out for
goal kick.
Yeah, I thought it went out for a corner. It looks like he kept it in. This is such good play from Jeff Cameron because with Venezuela sitting deep, cutting off those passing lanes, sometimes you need a center back to step into that hole, to have the courage and the bravery to go in. It draws number towards the ball. It's a well-weighted pass to Clint Dempsey. It's a heavy touch on the left foot that doesn't quite come off. And here's a look. Does that go over, JP?
Yeah, I think so.
Looks like a corner.
Entire ball has to go over, but that sure looked like we could see
it's
some
tough,
space.
though. Assistant referee's on our near side.
Yep.
Looked like the goalkeeper, Contreras' body was covering it.
Machis fires and he missed the target. So it's still scoreless here. How is the altitude working? Let's go to Jenny Taft.
Well, JP, to best condition the players for this thin air, there has been a strict plan put in place by High Performance Director James Bunce, Strength and Conditioning Coach Daniel Guzman. And this approach was introduced to the team back in January. It involved everything from nutrition, recovery, sleeping in altitude tents, hydration as well. And something to keep in mind, every individual body adapts differently to the altitude. And Jeff Cameron, he told us there is no denying that you do feel the difference, but these players are very committed to acclimating as quickly as possible in the time given.
Ball played long, and it's cut up by Venezuela. The man to my right knows what this is all about, right?
Why? Because I was out of breath on the treadmill today?
Well, you were,
but yeah,
you brought it up.
I've played it at altitude a number of times, and I've been around the U.S. national team for a long time. This is the most robust plan that I've seen with regards to preparation to these games. It's quite a contrast to Mexico, who will be their opponent in the second game. Of Mexico have been all over the United States. They've trained a couple days in Denver, a game in LA, a game in New Jersey. The United States are playing this friendly in Salt Lake for a reason, and that's to get acclimated. They go back to Denver, another altitude, all the little things they're doing, and they really feel this is going to give them an edge in those 2 games.
Trinidad and Tobago is also training in Denver. They've been there for a bit. Wood leaves it off. Villafana high up, cutting it back nicely. Pulisic in, cracks it high.
The U.S.'s best play tonight has come from the wide fullback positions. It's been a lot of Yedlin and Fabian Johnson. And this is our first look at Villafana. Is there a hint of a handball? Looked like it had taken a little touch off his thigh beforehand. Pulisic continues the play, tries to get the half volley with the left foot. Following up the play well. Such a great recognition of when to make those runs, of timing, first touch, second touch.
He's 18, he's still growing in all aspects of his game. Where have you seen him grow the most?
think positional awareness and also in production. 5 goals for Borussia Dortmund. I think he's played the 3rd most games on the team this season. He'll have a new manager going into next season, which is interesting because
Tuchel is out.
Tuchel out. Who's it going to be? Is he going to continue to develop there, continue to get game time? Because that's where I've seen his maturity. Experience in big matches, knowing how when he comes on as a substitute to impact games, and then as a United States men's national team player, he's a number 10. He's the main man and required to create and score goals, and I think he's ready for that.
A lot of people have given Tuchel high praise for the way they brought Pulisic along. Machis, he's looked good tonight. 21st minute, USA, Venezuela, scoreless here in this international friendly on the road to Russia 2018. Yedlin. Chased by Murillo. Yedlin trying to tuck it inside. Pulisic received it well. Trying to chip it back post area. It's going to roll out of play. U.S. corner.
Yedlin does well to break the pressure from Murillo. And it's Pulisic. It's a fortunate bounce initially, comes off. You can see what he's trying to do. He had to look up, didn't see Bobby Wood making the run on time, so he just decides to stand it up, loft it up in the air. Perhaps it holds up enough for Wood to change his run. United States with another corner.
Pulisic. It's headed away. Johnson in the air. He got taken out. Nagby trying to win that ball cleanly there. Could not. That's an obvious foul. To slow the play down. Free kick, Venezuela. They're not wasting any time. Machis. Kiarda. Villanueva moving it. Back and forth they go, the 2 center backs. Villanueva plays for Malaga in Spain. Rondon couldn't slide it through. Flores. Holding. Crowded sideline. Still going to be Venezuela's ball. Matias in charge of this team until Dudamel comes back from the under-20s. Big game, USA versus Venezuela. Under-20 World Cup. It's a quarterfinal match.
It's rare, isn't
tough
it?
opponent,
Get
too.
a doubleheader.
Yep.
It's a Venezuelan side at the U20 level that many people are calling the favorites.
Yeah.
Haven't conceded a goal. They've scored the most goals.
11.
Coming up against U.S. team coming off the back of a 6-0 win against New Zealand. It's an exciting game.
Free kick coming up here for Venezuela. They'll take their time with this. Putting it down is Junior Moreno. His first international appearance for his country. His club side, FC Zulia.
Tim Howard making a lot of adjustments on that two-man wall of Nagby and Pulisic. Trying to block off that near post.
Solis doesn't like something he's seeing on the far side. Moreno's ready on that whistle to put it back into play. He'll curve one up there, but it's right at Howard. Good long toss to get the USA off and running. Dempsey on the left. Villafania, Bradley, Nagby. Everybody back for Venezuela. Going long, Yedlin, flag stayed down. DeAndre holding there, 1v1 at the moment. Help coming, the cross. Blocked straight up, Contreras grabs it. Good job. And then look at this.
They're trying to play on that break, aren't they? As soon as they get it, sitting back deep. Right before that run from DeAndre Yedlin and the pass from Michael Bradley to go with it was excellent. Recognizing that slow build-up sometimes when you see Venezuela sitting so deep. You need someone to take initiative, and it was Yedlin who had to look up, recognize the space in behind Quijada.
Brooks towards Villafania. 26th minute, USA and Venezuela scoreless in this international friendly. Road to Russia. Here is Fabian Johnson slowing it down, cutting it back. But the return touch from Wood. Wood called for it and received at the end line. The cross right at Contreras. And if there was a rebound, Dempsey was right there looking for it. Clint with 56 international goals. Needs one to tie the great Landon Donovan at 57. 2 to beat him. Josie Altidore, close enough, right? 37,
yes,
but
he's still got a few years to go, you'd think. It feels like with Clint Dempsey, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Right.
And it was a large unknown, JP, going back a couple months ago. The heart issues for Clint Dempsey. Fought his way back. Got back in with Seattle Sounders. Re-announced himself, if you could say that with Clint Dempsey, because he's been a stalwart for this national team, but gets back, scores a hat-trick against Honduras in World Cup qualifying, scores against Panama, and is right back in the mix for Bruce Arena.
He's coming off 4 goals now in his last 2 games for his country. Throwing from Yedlin. Wood's after it. Bobby Wood. Dropping it back. Yedlin. Johnson. Giving away. Machis back on the ball. Slowed down. Deflected back. Fabian Johnson wins it.
He's done well. Fabian Johnson. Careless giveaway initially, then tracks back, wins the ball. Been very impressed with his relationship and understanding with DeAndre Yedlin. It gives United States fans a lot to be optimistic about, because of these two, just with their pace alone, it's frightening for any type of defense, but they both have a good understanding of defensive responsibility, and they can both get into the attack. Johnson comes inside, Yedlin gets around. Very, very impressed with those two after 27 minutes.
Nagby in the middle, drawing some attention, leaves it off for Michael Bradley. Wood loses, Johnson recovers for the moment. Taken away by Rondon from West Brom. Rumors that he may be going back to Rubin Kazan this week. Down the right side, 4 in the attack for Venezuela in yellow. Brooks takes player out and the ball. Corner, Venezuela.
Well, and as I was praising Fabian Johnson, it's a careless giveaway and sets Murillo up. But look at this defending, 1v1 from John Brooks. Gets down low, anticipates where Murillo's going, gets it right, gets close enough to make the block.
The 29th minute, Moreno will take this corner. Floated up. Second ball. U.S. trying to clear it out. They cannot. It's coming back. And there's the first goal. Velasquez. 1-0 Venezuela. The center back up for that corner kick.
Well, it's a failure by the United States to deal with that second ball. The initial ball is hit far and high to that back post. They do just enough to lump it across. Dempsey tries to clear, And it's the man who took the corner kick who puts it back into a dangerous area. And Velasquez just floats off the shoulder of John Brooks. Not aware, Fabian Johnson and Brooks, neither one of them was marking a man. Just floats in, it's a free look from 6 yards out. And he does the rest. Looked as though that was Fabian Johnson's man, just didn't have a look over his shoulder.
Pulisic leaves it for Villafana. Now the return is for Nagbe. Trying to put that into space. And now it's cleared back the other way. Looks to be the first man to run it down. First minute, Venezuela with a 1-0 lead here. US getting ready for World Cup qualifying, then the Gold Cup later this summer, which we'll carry here on Fox. We'll announce the preliminary 40-man roster. Join us at halftime for that. Maybe a surprise on there.
A couple really interesting names. Looking to break that one down at halftime.
Clip there, Bradley thought one of the fouls going to be called. Couldn't hear the referee's whistle through the noise of the crowd. But a foul nonetheless, and a free kick for Venezuela.
Bruce Arena channeling his Juan Carlos Osorio. Making a few notes on the notepad. Wonder if he has different colored pens as well.
Bruce is a little calmer though on the sideline. Juan Carlos Osorio. He runs it like a player. Ball comes all the way back to Tim Howard. You see Juan Carlos Osorio, Mexico's manager, when the U.S. meets Mexico next Sunday at Azteca.
Really looking forward to that one, JP. Those two managers facing off. United States having lost the Dos Acero game in Columbus, Ohio. Mexico going in there and winning 2-1. Looking to now go down to Azteca Stadium, the famed altitude, the environment, one of the toughest places I ever played.
Mexico's in first place in the Hex, and 4 of the next 5 are at home. They have to play Honduras first. The U.S. has to play Trinidad and Tobago first before a big rematch with Mexico. Venezuela with it, and a 1-0 lead. Santos tries to return it. A chance for Murillo, maybe. Couldn't pull the trigger, now finds Machis. Machis, the cross, cleared away. Trying to win it back. It's got to be a foul there. There's no advantage. There's a big blast, and Howard got a fingertip save to it. Well, the U.S. has to play to the whistle, but a lot of people thought there was a foul there.
I thought initially he was going to get whistled back for the foul on Bobby Wood. Two defenders, he was asking for it. It's a poor clearance by Yedlin, and then Moreno just picks it up. He's from distance. That's a good strike. That's going into that lower left-hand corner. Tim Howard gets his feet set. Good push off and a strong left hand. He dealt with it well because it had dipped there. Let's see if the United States are a little bit more sharp on their marking here. Second ball, third ball, you can't switch off. You have to stay with your man, stay alert.
Moreno will take another corner. The last corner was Velasquez scoring, and the U.S. couldn't clear it out properly. This one toward the middle. Second ball! Off the post first. Howard made the save. Could have been 2-0 Venezuela. Down this right side. Pulisic. 1 against 3. Foul is drawn. Tim Howard was big there. He might have had a little luck too with that post.
Well, we talked about a second ball, and that's exactly it there. It's so hard to deal with sometimes as a defender because your momentum's taking you one way. It's the attacker who's able to look at it, and it's Quijada at the back post. Gets a look at that save from Tim Howard. Does so well there. Just pure reactions. He sees it late, taking a deflection. He has to shuffle all the way across his goal. It does just enough to force it onto the post.
Fair to say Tim has been tested more than we thought he might be this early in the game as that offside flag goes up.
And I thought the United States had started fairly well in this game, but it feels as though to go then with the goal, it followed a little flat, and it's been Venezuela that have been dictating the tempo. Here's another look at it, very close to going over that line. He'll have a little kiss on that right post after. Goalkeeper's best friend.
had video assistant referees, somebody might have taken a look at that. Tim Howard will get to go back home, right? He's going to play, assuming he starts in that next game. That'll be at his Dick's Sporting Goods Park home, where he plays for the Colorado Rapids.
Talked to Tim Howard this week, and he's as hungry as ever. He's as motivated as ever when he puts on this U.S. shirt. And he said, make no mistake about it, I want to be the #1 in Russia next year, barring that they make it and get through qualification, of course.
He's playing it ahead. Camacho, the cross. Straight up. Howard's got to get that ball, and he does. In the 36th minute, the U.S. find themselves trailing versus Venezuela. They go by Velasquez. Right at the half-hour mark. Pulisic. Yedlin returns it. The teenager looks up. Trying to find another option. Edge of the box. Finds one there. Force back. Wood. Brooks. Nagby. Some better ball movement here for the U.S. They get it wide. Villafania drives it inside. Never got there. Velasquez cleared it.
That's better from Darlington Nagby, because when Venezuela are sitting deep, it's okay that the United States, that front 4 or 5, their starting positions are high, but you have to drop off and try and find the ball between the lines. That time Nagby does it, and he's able to get Villafania in, and here's Yedlin now.
Yedlin. The cross. It's there. It's off Johnson. A lot of possession for the U.S., but nothing to show for it.
And I would say it's that last pass, just that last cross connecting with the players in the box. A couple times hasn't been good enough quality, and then when it has been, Venezuela have done a good job of defending.
Venezuela has played better than I think most people expected so far. They could be up by a couple of goals, to be fair. Big save by Howard moments ago. Had some help with the post to his right. Contreras sends it forward. Couldn't find Murillo. Give the ball away needlessly to the U.S.
It's a Venezuelan side, JP, that searching for the right formula, trying to get some type of result. Their last 3, they lost to Chile, tied with Peru 2-2, and lost to Ecuador. And as we said before, they're playing Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay. The beauty of CONMEBOL, doesn't get much easier for them.
Involved in 13 World Cup qualifying cycles. They've never qualified for a World Cup, but help may be coming with that under-20 team. So the future could be brighter, certainly, than their past. Howard, 39th minute. His team down by 1. Bradley dropping deeper. Santos and Rondon force it wide. Cameron, Johnson. Yedlin makes the run from his right back spot. Lost it on the touch. Going after was Cameron. He does well there to win it against Machis. Otherwise the counter was on. Pulisic cutting in the outside. And the ball runs away from him. It's going to be a goal kick for Contreras.
It's unlucky from Pulisic. He was looking initially to make a pass to Bobby Wood, who was in an offside position. See Bobby Wood just kind of occupying a little bit of space. Pulisic recognizes that and drives straight towards it. Velasquez was able to push him wide. Just a heavy touch on the last one. I just think the United States right now need a little bit more dynamic in the final third. The movement, as I said, dropping off their back 4 into those little pockets, then getting your fullbacks around, and then connecting on that final service.
Santos in the air towards Murillo. Villafania for Howard. There's some pressure again from Santos. Goes against Venezuela. Free kick here for the U.S.
Omar Gonzalez getting ready.
Villanueva goes back toward goal. Travis allowed to play it out. Villanueva upfield. She's fed it. Moreno. Wide open on that right side. No one was near Camacho. Rondon gave it away to Johnson. The U.S. will look to break. Pulisic does well. Still has it. Has some options now. 5, make it 6 U.S. players. Getting into the attacking third. Pulisic leaves it. Bradley. All the way back to Jeff Cameron. Brooks. Bradley. To Nagbe. Try to send Johnson through. Almost. Good idea, but
that's what you look for in that attacking third. You look for triggers, and it was Clint Dempsey to pop off to get the movement, then releases Nagbe. The pass doesn't quite come off, but that's better.
Coming up at halftime, we'll break down highlights from our game and also talk about the Gold Cup and that 40-man roster, the preliminary roster to be announced by the USA. There will be some names on there that you might say you're surprised at, I think for sure, and others you might say, why isn't that particular player on that list? It's all up for debate. The announcement at halftime.
What a tease, JP.
I'm going to be tuning in to see what you think is a surprise.
I can tell you there's a few.
That roster will be cut to 23 in advance of the tournament. And then you can make some changes once you get past the group stage. 43rd minute. U.S. trailing here on home soil. Woods after it. Rondon takes it. Towards Santos. Flores. He's never lost to Venezuela in 4 previous tries, 3 wins and a draw. Last 3 games were shutout wins. Not tonight. Rondon couldn't win that ball. 44th minute. U.S. looking for something positive before the end of the half. Playing at altitude for the first time and with 6 subs available for a friendly, we might see changes at halftime that we wouldn't normally see.
And I think it's important to recognize the slowdown in the tempo because of that altitude and the burning in the lungs. It just takes a little bit more out of you from an energy standpoint. Players at halftime will get in, they'll get oxygen, they'll recover, come back with a renewed energy in the second half.
Yedlin given a little bit of space, not that much. Now he tries to go out wide for Fabian Johnson. The cut back inside, Yedlin fights for it. Keeping possession, nowhere to go.
No, he's looking for options too, and it had absolutely nothing.
Villanueva did well, limiting him. Pulisic almost won it back for the U.S. Final minute, first half. Venezuela surprising the U.S. with this 1-0 lead. Machis leaves it off. Villanueva, Kiada. Flag goes up. The dangerous Solomon Rondon. 3rd all-time in goals for Venezuela.
He's been kept relatively quiet tonight, hasn't he, by the United States, but it's been in those wide areas where they've had a lot of joy through Machis and through Murillo on that right-hand side.
Nagbe. Back to Cameron. Almost at 45 minutes here. Nagbe. Laid off by Dempsey. Johnson. Pulisic. Bradley for Brooks. That's going to do it. First half has come to a close, but I would say, Stu, a surprising result right now.
And a deserved lead for Venezuela. I thought they've been the better team in this first half. for the United States had carved out a couple opportunities, but not enough cutting edge in that final third.
Jenny Taft is standing by with USA head coach Bruce Arena. Here's Jen.
Well, Bruce, possession was in your favor in that first half, yet trailing at the break. So what response do you look for?
Possession means nothing. We're not playing the ball quick enough. We're not playing it forward quick enough. They're getting 10 players behind the ball, doing a good job pressuring the ball and catching us on the break. We've got to do a better job with our spacing, play forward quicker, and be more aggressive at getting at them.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jen. Only one goal, and it came from the center back, not one of their better goal scorers. Velasquez in the 30th minute, 1-0 Venezuela.